Hi, Ellen Bremen, Highline College. I'm back for part two. So in the last video, you saw module one of the outcomes alignment course and how we are working with how faculty can build measurable student-centered student learning outcomes. In modules two and three, we align those student learning outcomes to the degree or distribution area outcomes or program outcomes, depending on what your college calls them. And then in module three, we align everything, student learning outcomes, degree or distribution learning outcomes to the college-wide outcomes. So let me show you what that looks like. You can see that it's set up in exactly the same way, and the faculty participants are able to identify what they will do in this module. They'll be able to see some videos that will lead them through the cognitive process. And then let me show you what they actually do in this section. So faculty participants will be working with how to put this all together, and I'll show you what that alignment table looks like very quickly. Okay, now it's time for you to work with another alignment table. This time you're going to examine. So I'll just show you the program outcomes or the degree or distribution learning outcomes would be here. The course outcomes would be here. I'll show you another version of what this looks like in a larger format. There we go. So you'll see here that this is partially filled in, and then faculty can just copy whatever they need to, but the program or degree distribution learning outcomes are up here. The different courses go on the left-hand side, and then basically just look at alignment and put little X's. This leads to great departmental discussions on, if we say that students need to be able to do this upon exit, where in our courses are we measuring how the degree to which they can do whatever we say they need to do at the end. So this is yet another assignment for that course. And then finally, I'll show you very similar, the college-wide outcomes. That's another piece. Module 3 is set up in the exact same way. And then I'll show you an example of what faculty will submit for this assignment. This one's filled in. And so here are our college-wide outcomes, which faculty will learn about in the different, they'll learn about that in the Read About It section. And then from here, the degree or distribution learning outcomes, and then finally the courses and how this all maps together. And there's also an Excel spreadsheet here that another faculty put together for in a different format. So what happens after this course is finished? When faculty finish the first module, which is about the SLOs, then they are able to gain entry into Curriculog for any course changes, course proposals, course revisions. And from there, this is where the change comes from, how the new outcomes that have been vetted through this course, this is where those outcomes now are living in Curriculog. Now, let's talk about what happens from there. At that point, then faculty will, we are at Highline, we do quarterly assessments. Everybody who participates, it's required to participate, to do a quarterly assessment to assess one of your student learning outcomes each quarter. So if I click on create a new assessment, you will see that what has happened is Curriculog is feeding into this, is feeding the outcomes, the new outcomes, new and improved outcomes into this area. So if I do one of my courses here, Comp Studies 101, I can select any one of these outcomes that I'd like to assess this quarter, and then I can click Create Assessment. And then I'm going to fill out a series of questions about how I have evaluated that particular assessment this quarter, and you can see what some of those questions are. So this is the result of that outcomes alignment course, is that in this quarterly assessment data that every faculty, again, is pretty much required to do, that we now have outcomes that have been vetted as being measurable, student-centered, because faculty have gone through this process. And then ultimately, as we know, this benefits student learning because faculty are able to more accurately measure a properly and a properly a measurable, proper outcome. So that has been the benefit of this outcomes alignment course that we've been doing for the past 2 years, is that now, because that's a requirement to go into curriculog, and then those outcomes feed into this quarterly assessment, this is how it's all coming together and impacting what faculty actually do in the classroom. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have found this inspiring and something that can be easily replicated at your college, which it absolutely could. Thank you.